Peace and light, family. I hope that you are well. So I really wanted to take some time to talk about mindfulness. I was at work the other day and we had a PD, a professional development on mindfulness. And a lot of people, before even going in, I work in education. So a lot of the teachers and staff and leadership, before even going into the PD, they were already like, oh, mindfulness, we about to spend an hour and a half talking about mindfulness. Like they were kind of eye rolling and like, oh, whatever, here we go. And I feel like a lot of that energy comes from people because mindfulness right now is really like a hot button topic. Like everybody is talking about it, and people are really misusing the word. So I just wanted to take some time to explain what exactly is mindfulness and how practicing mindfulness really genuinely helped save my life. So how did mindfulness save my life? And then I'll explain exactly what mindfulness means to me. Growing up, I grew up in a space where we were angry. You expressed anger through violence. So my mom did not play, right? Like simple as put, my mother was no game. When my mother would get mad, she would blow up and she would get physically violent anywhere, any place. I'll tell you a quick story. One time we was in a Chinese restaurant and they got her order wrong. My mother took the food and threw the food in a lady's face and tore the whole restaurant up, was doing whatever to anybody who ever tried to come in between, tried to stop her or whatever. And I knew not to play with her like that. I ain't even try to stop her. I just waited until she was done and we left. Like, and really, that's just how things was handled around me. I remember my mother tearing up stores. I remember my mother tearing us up, tearing people up. Like, that's just how she expressed anger. So I was trained and conditioned growing up that when you get angry, you tear it up, you turn up. Like, that's just how you act. And that's how I behaved quite often. And really, it took me down a really negative road and didn't help me at all. I caught my very first charge. I did a video, a story time about the time I went to jail. But my first charge I caught happened when I was 14 years old. And it was inciting a riot, disorderly conduct. It was a slew of charges that all stemmed from fighting. And that just what it was. Like, that's how I was. That's how I handled things. That's how I expressed my anger. My response to anybody doing anything, saying anything I didn't like, making me feel a type of way, I would be, what's up? Like, I was ready to fight. And that's how I expressed things. And it was very unhealthy. And it wasn't until I got to college that I realized exactly how unhealthy it was. I remember being in college and I got with some friends. Like, I was with, it was a group of 5 of us. It was 5 girls that I used to hang out with my freshman year. And we was in the dorm room and we just all kind of clicked up, just naturally clicked up. And they used to be like, girl, you be turned, like, bruh. Like, I remember they set me down a couple times, like, bruh, you gotta chill. One time, I'll never forget, like, it was over a small thing, and my friend always bring this up too. We still cool. My friend always bring this up. The time we was in the smoothie line on campus, we had a smoothie like station. So we in the smoothie line, and I hopped over the counter, bro. Because I hopped over the counter because they was taking too long to come to the front to make my smoothie. And just like without even thinking, and that's the key to it, without even thinking, like, I was like, bruh, I know they know somebody standing out here. Like, I'm getting frustrated. So I'm getting frustrated. My frustration is building. I'm irritated. I'm like, oh, nah, they tripping. I hops over the counter, go to the back. Go to the kitchen where they at, and I start acting up. And after that, my friend was like, girl, like, you gotta chill some, bro. Like, you be tripping. Like, you be snapping. And I realized, like, after several moments like that it was just like my behavior at this point was unhealthy. And I was really getting too old to be doing the stuff that I was doing. So I started really, like, looking for ways that I could help change my mentality, because I knew that my behavior was a reflection of my mentality. And I wanted to understand my own mentality. So really, like, what desired me to make a change was me realizing that there was something wrong with my behavior, and I did not like the behavior that I had, and I wanted to change my behavior. So to change my behavior, I realized that I had to assess my mentality. And I'm explaining it that way because the thing I'm really realizing with mindfulness is it has to be something that you want. You have to desire a change, and not just with mindfulness, but with healing, with getting deeper into spirituality, mental health. You have to desire a change. You cannot force anybody to want to be more mindful. You yourself cannot become more mindful if it's not something that you truly do not want to do. So my biggest advice is, if you are looking into mindfulness, you first need to ask yourself, is this a change that I truly desire? Because I'm going to tell you now, before I even start explaining like mindfulness and what it is and how it works, I'm going to tell you now that it's a journey. I've been on a journey of practicing mindfulness for over 10 years now. I started my journey back in 2010, and it's been a journey, and I've gotten much, much better, to the point like most of it now is easy, but you really just, in the beginning, it wasn't. For like the first 5 years, it wasn't easy at all. For the first 5 years, it takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of like being real with yourself and being honest. It takes a lot of like healing trauma, unlearning and relearning to change your mentality. Like, it takes a lot of that. So anyway, I realized that it was my mentality that was causing me to have these types of behaviors. So I decided to dig deeper into my mentality and gain better understanding of, why was I behaving this way? Why was I doing the certain things that I was doing? And honestly, like, the realization I came to was that, I was conditioned this way, and this is what I saw. And not only is this what I saw, but this behavior, like me acting out violently, was actually reinforced because I would get the desired outcome I would want. People did not play with me. Like, I didn't go through bullying. Like, I didn't deal with that because people knew I was not with it. I didn't have problems with people doing crazy stuff to me because people knew I was not with it. So that was reinforcing for me to keep on handling things the way I handled it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to glorify this at all, because once again, I realized that it was wrong. Like, the way I was behaving and the way I would act up and act out and turn up was wrong. And I realized that, like, I was hurting people. I was hurting myself. You know what I'm saying? Putting myself in a lot of bad situations, putting my friends and family members in a lot of bad situations. So I decided to do the work to change it. So I ended up finding out about mindfulness because I've always been a person who loved to watch like podcasts and interviews and stuff. And I remember I was listening to a Buddhist monk named Thich Nhat Hanh. He was doing an interview with Oprah, and I found it, and I was like listening to it, and he kept talking about the practice of mindfulness. So I got his book, Thich Nhat Hanh. He's a Buddhist monk. His book is called The Miracle of Mindfulness, and I read that book. It's like about maybe like 40 pages, if that. It might be like anywhere between, I don't know, it's a real thin book. It's probably like between 25 to 40 pages. But I read that book over and over and over and over and over again. And I still read that book over and over and over again. Because even though like it's a compilation of a lot of Buddhist principles, a lot of anecdotes, and some of them seem real simple, but they're very deep and complex. And every time I read it, I get a different and deeper understanding of the mindfulness that he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? So mindfulness is the art of gently bringing yourself back to the present moment and being aware of what the present moment actually is. In the book, A Miracle of Mindfulness, Thich Nhat Hanh, he tells a story of a guy he was eating with. So he said he was basically teaching the guy about mindfulness, and the guy was trying to convince him that he was ready, that he felt like he was fully mindful and that he had practiced all he could. And Thich Nhat Hanh was like, really? You have? And the guy's like, yeah, I think I'm ready. I was like washing the dishes, and I was fully present when I was washing the dishes. Well, the funny thing is, while they was talking, they were both eating apples. So he says the guy's eating an apple, and the guy sliced the apple, put a piece in his mouth, and as he's talking, he sliced another piece of apple, right? So he's chewing and he's talking, and he's holding his next piece of apple in his hand. So Thich Nhat Hanh is like, he's trying to convince me that he's fully mindful and that he's present, but he's chewing this piece of apple and he's holding the next piece in his hand. So he asked the guy, like, why did you already slice the next piece of apple? And the guy's like, because I'm going to eat it. And Thich Nhat Hanh is like, but you haven't even finished the piece in your mouth. And he's like, oh, the guy got it. like he wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we often live life. While we are doing one thing, while we're chewing that first piece of apple, we already prepared for the next. We're already moving on to the next. In our mind, we haven't even allowed our body, our physical, to finish completing one task before our mind is ready to move on to the next, which causes spiritual confusion, which causes emotional confusion, spiritual unrest. You know what I'm saying? So we got to really think about that and take that to account. So for me, the art of being mindful just simply meant the ability to bring myself back to the present moment. So when you are gently bringing yourself back to the present moment, I am doing a holistic assessment of myself. So what I do is I ask myself, how am I physically feeling? To check in with my physical feelings, the first thing I do is I stop completely. I plant myself. So feet flat on the ground, shoulders up. I breathe, take 3 deep breaths in and out. And I'm doing 3 deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And when I do that, I'm just calming myself, calming my body, full physical calm. And then I go from my feet and work my way up to my head, my crown. So I ask myself, all mentally, not verbally, after I do my 3 deep breaths, I ask myself, how does my feet feel? How do my legs feel? How does my chest feel? How are my arms feeling? How are my hands feeling? How's my neck feeling? How do my shoulders feel? And I'm telling myself, I'm assessing how I feel, and I'm telling each part of myself to relax. So I ask myself, how does my feet feel? Relax my feet. How do my legs feel? Relax my legs. How do my shoulders feel? Relax my shoulders. How do my hands feel? Relax my hands. And I'm being still the whole time, but I'm just mentally telling myself to relax each portion of my body. How does my jaw feel? Relax my jaw. How do my ears feel? Relax my ears. How does my crown feel? Relax my crown. Bring in awareness. And I'm really like mentally talking to myself just to get a full physical calm. And then I assess my thoughts. What am I thinking about? And I allow each thought to pass one by one. One by one. One by one, I check in. No, I don't classify them as right or wrong, as good or bad, positive or negative. I allow each thought to pass one by one. And when you first get started, honestly, you're going to ruminate on thoughts. When I say ruminate, I mean like you'll sit and dwell on the thought over and over and over and over and over. And that's okay. Once again, this takes practice. It works quickly for me now because I'm 10 years deep into practice and mindfulness. But really just in that present moment, I'm doing a physical and mental check-in. What am I thinking about? Why am I thinking about this? Okay, it's all right to think about that. Move to the next thought. Okay, what's the next thing going on? Move to the next thought. What's the next thing going on? It's almost like moving through a file cabinet. The mind is really a file cabinet. That's all it is. So I just move through the file cabinet of my mind, and I'm just going thought to thought, thought to thought, thought to thought. After I do that, and I check in with my mind, I do a check-in with my spirit. What is my spirit telling me? How's my spirit feeling? And I just keep repeating my I am mantras. That's my last thing, because I'm feeding my spirit. That's me feeding my spirit. I am well. I am peace. I am joy. I am happy. And I just keep repeating my I am mantras to feed my spirit. And I'm doing that in my mind. So when I'm doing that in my mind, I'm replacing those thoughts in my mind that I may be ruminating over or that may not be serving me well. I'm replacing them with positive I am thoughts to feed my spirit. Meanwhile, I've already done my full body check-in, my full body relaxation. So the art of mindfulness, in that present moment, I'm stopping and I did a full body assessment of how I feel. I did a physical check-in to see how my body feels, and then I relaxed it. I did a mental check-in and check in with my thoughts to see what I'm thinking, and then I replaced those negative thoughts with my I am mantra. I did a spiritual check-in to see how my spirit is feeling, then I replaced any negative energy with that I am mantras. And I'm just sitting. And once again, when you first start, it takes time. It would take me like 5 to 10 minutes really in the beginning to do this, and I would still never feel complete really. I still wouldn't fully feel like I was present and I was here and I was well when I was done. But now I can do a check-in, a full body scan, and be good in 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? And this is 10 years later. I would practice in the shower. When I would be in the shower, I'm doing a check-in. How does the water feel running over my body? As I was washing my body, I would focus on each part. I'm washing my arm. I'm cleansing this negative energy away from my arms. cleansing anything that is not good for me, anything that is not serving me. I'm thankful for my neck for holding me up. I'm thankful for my shoulders for remaining strong and healthy. Washing my legs, I'm thankful for my legs for carrying me. Washing my feet, I'm thankful for my feet for walking me many a miles my entire life and being well and being strong. Just doing a full check-in and being present in that moment of being in the shower. When you are in the shower, be present in that shower. Do not focus your mind on the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Oftentimes in the shower, we are doing our to-do list. When is the last time you have been present when you were brushing your teeth? You brush your teeth and you like, oh, we sit here think about getting in the shower. A lot of times we brushing our teeth, we think about the next step. I'm about to get in the shower, da-da-da-da. Okay, but you brushing your teeth. Focus on brushing your teeth well. Focus on completing that one task. Focus your mind on the thing at hand and give gratitude for it. Be grateful for each tooth you have in your mouth and the work that it do to help chew your food, because that's the first step in digestion. You know what I'm saying? Like, be grateful that your teeth are still there. Be grateful that your teeth are present and that you are present to be able to care for them. Be grateful that you got toothpaste. Be grateful that you got a toothbrush. That's mindfulness. So just being more present in the moment, every single moment of the day, and really practicing doing that. And if you are struggling through that, knowing how to check in holistically, physically, mentally, and spiritually in that moment. While you brushing your teeth, do a check-in. How my feet feel. It's all in the mind. How does my feet feel? How do my legs feel? How do my shoulders feel? And relax each part of your body. That's the first step of getting yourself back present. Relax each part of your body. Okay, what am I doing? I'm brushing my teeth. I'm grateful for brushing my teeth. I am grateful for this toothpaste. I'm grateful for, and just go down the list. Do those I am mantras and really check in with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, bring yourself back to the present moment. And really, mindfulness helped save my life, because in those moments where I would become angry, in those moments where, in those moments where I would get triggered, something would trigger me to potentially become angry. What I would do is I would stop right there. Stop. In that present moment, I'm going to stop it. Boom. And I'm checking in. How am I feeling? Physically, I know my physical symptoms of anger. Physically, I'm getting hot. I can feel the blood rushing to my face. I'm turning red. I'm about to blow. I'm getting warm. I'm about to turn up. Like I'm shaking now. I want to do something. You know what I'm saying? I would do that full check-in. And then before I would actually physically react though, I would assess it. I would assess the situation in my mind. What am I thinking? I'm getting physically angry. I'm getting mad because I'm thinking that this person is trying me. Why do I feel like this person is trying me? I feel like they're trying me because of this, that. Do I really think that this is their intention? Well, maybe it could be. A lot of times I realize that may not have even been their intention. Their intention may not have been to try me. But even if their intention was to try me, what is it within me that is even allowing myself to be triggered by this certain situation? What is it within me that's allowing this thing that they're doing or saying to trigger me? That's what it all comes down to, the internal, to the self-work. Because this shouldn't even be a trigger for me. Y'all, I used to get upset. I remember one time I went crazy because somebody stepped on my sneakers. This girl said something about my sneakers a minute ago, and then another time, like days had passed, and she stepped on them, and I felt like she did it intentionally, and I felt tried, so I turned up. And that was the stupidest thing. Like, in hindsight, that was the stupidest thing. But what was it about that even made me feel triggered? Why did her talking about low-key, not even to my face, low-key saying something about my sneakers to somebody else make me feel triggered? Even if she did say it to my face, why was somebody saying something negative about my shoes, about a physical thing? Why would that make me feel triggered? That's the work that I had to do. Why is this my trigger? So then that's when I had to start connecting it to the trauma. Okay, so this is a trigger for me because I got trauma about having clothes and shoes from my childhood. So being that I got that trauma, when somebody says something negative about something I got on, I feel a type of weight. You know what I'm saying? So I had to really address the trauma so that I can then reduce my triggers of anger. But I wouldn't have been able to do that if I first didn't stop and address my behavior, which was all handled through mindfulness. So my trauma, me addressing my trauma, really helped me reduce my triggers. But I wouldn't have even gotten to that point if I had not first addressed my behavior through mindfulness. You know what I'm saying? And addressing my behavior through mindfulness simply occurred by me deciding that I no longer wanted to behave that way. So I needed to change my mentality. And I changed my mentality through mindfulness. I hope that this video was helpful, family. It's pretty long. I'm already almost at like 20 minutes. I'm gonna try to edit it and cut it down a little bit. But I really like mindfulness is a topic that I'm very serious and very passionate about, because once again, it truly helped save my life. Like it really was like a spark for a major change for me. And you know, when I was in that PD and I saw some people being like, oh, like mindfulness, I really don't want it to get this negative connotation because it's such a hot button topic. I don't want it to be the popular thing so everybody is tired of hearing about it, because it truly works if you use it the right way. And the key to it is you gotta want it. You gotta be okay with being on a journey. Understand it's not an overnight process. Understand that you're not gonna start being mindful and tomorrow you about to be a guru and sitting in. Don't think that that's how it's about to happen. Mindfulness is a journey. I cannot say that enough. I'm 10 years strong in it. 10 years strong in it. I could talk about mindfulness meditation. I could talk about mindfulness yoga, different mindfulness practices that I utilize, different studies that I've read about mindfulness. Like this is a 10-year educational practice. I've been educating myself and practicing it for 10 years strong, and I'm still going and I'm still learning something new every day. Even sitting in that PD, sis was teaching me about stuff that I hadn't even known yet from mindfulness, and she was 20 years strong in the practice. I brought up some information I learned from Thich Nhat Hanh that she wasn't aware of, and I'm 10 years strong in the practice. And we had that moment, we talked after, and she was just like, you know, thanking me for being an ally, because a lot of people in the room was not with it, and she was thanking me for being an ally. But most importantly, we was appreciative of each other because we're looking at each other like, you get it. Because even though she 20 years in, I'm 10 years in, we both still babies in it, you know. So come join, y'all. Be a part of this mindfulness journey. It's life changing. I promise you, it's life changing, and you will be well. You will be well. Take the step. Peace and light, family. I hope this video was helpful. Questions and comments, leave it below. I'll either respond to you directly, or I may do a whole separate video dedicated to your question. Also, Sean N, one of my best favorite subscribers. He comments on all my videos and stuff. I love you, big bro. Much love to you. Much peace to you. I am doing the video on water and sleep soon. He requested that I do a video about water and sleep. I definitely will do some, because I have a very, very serious passion about water, different types of water, how much water you should drink, alkaline water, all of that stuff. So I'm definitely going to do a video talking about water and sleep very soon. Shout out to Sean N, and shout out to all my subscribers who've been rocking with me from early days, and all of my new subscribers. I love you. Welcome to the community. Once again, the intention is to build a wellness centered community, and by this, we doing this by sharing wellness education. I am not the guru. I am not the end all be all. I don't think I know everything. In fact, I know a lot, but I feel like I know nothing at all as well. You know what I'm saying? So please leave tips for each other. Give each other advice. If you got something that you want to tell me, some advice you want to give me, I greatly appreciate it. Much love, much light, and peace, family.